Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, English Podcast.
Before I say anything tonight, I want to try something. I am going to stop talking for 10 seconds, and I want you to just listen, not to me, to everything else, to the silence, to what is hiding inside it. Ready? What did you hear? Maybe the hum of your phone, maybe the sound of your own breathing, maybe the blood moving through your ears, maybe a car far away, maybe nothing. But I bet something happened inside you during those 10 seconds. Something interesting. Maybe you felt uncomfortable, like something was wrong, like the silence was a mistake, like I should have been talking. Maybe you felt a pull, a need to check your phone, to fill the space, to do something. Or maybe, just maybe, you felt something soft open inside you, a small door, a quiet room you forgot existed, a place where your thoughts slowed down just for a moment. That is the power of silence. Not what it sounds like, but what it does to you. A wise man once said, "I never learned anything while I was talking." Think about that. Every important thing you have ever learned, every deep truth, every real understanding, every moment of clarity came when you were quiet, when you were listening, when you stopped performing and started receiving. Tonight, I want to talk about silence, not as emptiness, but as your most powerful teacher. We think of silence as nothing, as a gap, as the space between the important parts. But what if the space is the important part? Think about music. A song is not just notes, it is also the silence between the notes. Without the pauses, music is just noise. The pauses give the notes meaning. The pauses give the music room to breathe. Life works the same way. Without silence, your thoughts are just noise. Your feelings are just reactions. Your days are just motion. Silence is where meaning lives. Tonight, we will explore 5 quiet pictures of what silence teaches when we are brave enough to listen. Imagine a classroom, a school. You are a student. You are sitting at your desk. Every day, the teacher talks, all day, without stopping. Facts, rules, instructions, opinions, more facts, more rules. Your notebook is full. Your hand is tired. Your brain is buzzing. But here is the strange thing. You are not learning. You are copying. You are repeating. You are storing words. But you are not understanding. Not deeply. Not in the way that changes you. Now imagine one day the teacher walks in, sits down, and says nothing. The room is quiet. You look around. Other students look confused. Someone whispers, "What's happening?" Nothing is happening. And that is exactly the point. Because in that silence, something shifts. Without the teacher's voice filling the room, you start to hear something else. Your own thoughts, your own questions, your own understanding. Wait, I think I know why that formula works. Oh, I never thought about it that way before. Actually, I disagree with what we learned yesterday. These thoughts could not exist while the teacher was talking. They needed space. They needed quiet. They needed the teacher to stop so the student could start. The best teacher is not the one who talks the most. It is the one who knows when to be silent. My friend, your life is that classroom, and the noise your phone, social media, other people's opinions, the news, the constant stream of content that is the teacher who never stops talking. You are always receiving, always listening, always filling your notebook with someone else's words. But when did you last hear your own? When did you last sit in the empty classroom of your own mind and think, what do I actually believe? What do I actually feel? What do I actually want? These questions cannot be answered in noise. They can only be answered in silence. In our previous episode, we talked about why your best ideas come when you are doing nothing. That is the bakery working at night. But tonight is different. Tonight is not about ideas. It is about truth. Your truth, the kind of knowing that only comes when every other voice goes quiet and yours is the only one left. Put your hand on your chest right now. Feel your heartbeat. Boom, boom, boom. Steady, faithful, always there. Since the day you were born, this rhythm has never stopped, not for a second. Now notice something you have probably never noticed before. Between each beat, there is a pause, a tiny gap. A fraction of a second where your heart is completely still, not beating, not pumping, not working, just resting, gathering, preparing. Boom, pause, boom, pause, boom, pause. That pause is not death. That pause is not a problem. That pause is not the heart failing. That pause is where your heart gathers strength, where it refills with blood, where it resets itself, where it finds the energy for the next beat. Without the pause, your heart would burn out. It would beat and beat and beat faster and faster until it could not beat anymore. The pause is not the opposite of life. The pause is life. The pause is what makes the next beat possible. Silence is the pause between life's heartbeats. Without it, the heart of your mind burns out. Your life has heartbeats too, my friend. Conversations are beats. Meetings are beats. Messages are beats. Decisions are beats. Tasks, deadlines, phone calls, emails, beat, 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 beat. But where are your pauses? Most people have no pauses. Their day is one continuous beat. Morning to night, alarm clock to pillow, notification to notification, conversation to conversation, screen to screen, task to task. No gaps, no space, no silence between the beats. And they wonder why they feel exhausted, why they cannot think clearly, why they snap at people they love for no reason, why they cry in the shower, why they feel empty even though their days are completely full. They are a heart without a pause, still beating, but running on nothing, burning out slowly, and calling it being productive. Silence is your pause, my friend. Not a long retreat in the mountains, not a week at a meditation center, not an expensive app with whale sounds. Just a breath, a moment, a gap between beats. 5 seconds between checking your phone and opening the next app. Let those 5 seconds exist. Do not fill them. 3 seconds before you answer a hard question. Let the question sit in the air. Feel it before you respond. 1 minute of sitting in your car after you park before you walk into the house. Feel the engine turn off. Feel the stillness. Let it hold you. These tiny pauses do not look like much. Nobody will notice them. Nobody will applaud them. Nobody will post them on Instagram. But they are the difference between a heart that lasts and a heart that burns out, between a mind that thinks clearly and a mind that just reacts, between a life that feels alive and a life that feels like a treadmill you cannot step off. A psychologist who has studied silence for over 10 years said something beautiful. She said that silence is never a pure experience. It always coexists with something, a sound, a thought, a feeling. Even in the quietest room ever built, you can hear your own eyelashes touching your skin. So silence is not the absence of everything. It is the presence of attention, the pause where you stop doing and start noticing, start feeling, start hearing what has been there all along underneath the noise. And noticing is how you learn. Noticing is how you grow. Noticing is how you become the person you have been too busy to become. Now I want to teach you something that changed how I think about silence. Not all silence is the same. There are different kinds. Let me show you 3. The first kind is the silence that is forced on you. This is when someone tells you to be quiet, when you have something to say but you are afraid, when a boss or a parent or a partner makes you feel like your voice does not matter. This silence is not peaceful. It is painful. It is the silence of being invisible, of being small, of swallowing your truth because speaking it feels dangerous. This is not the silence I am talking about tonight. This silence is a wound, and wounds need healing, not more silence. The second kind is the silence of rules. This is the silence in a hospital, in a library, in a temple, in a meeting when someone important is speaking. This silence has a purpose. It creates order. It shows respect. It is useful, but it is not deep. It is silence from the outside, following rules, not finding truth. The third kind is the silence that teaches. This is the silence you choose, the silence you enter on purpose, with intention, with openness. This is the silence of sitting on your bed and feeling your own heartbeat, the silence of walking without headphones and hearing the world as it really is, the silence of not checking your phone for 20 minutes and discovering what your mind does when it is free. This silence is not comfortable, not at first. When you first enter it, you feel restless, bored, anxious, like sitting in a chair with no phone and nothing to do. Your mind races. Your legs want to move. You want to fill the space with something, anything, because the emptiness feels wrong. But if you stay, if you sit with the discomfort and wait, if you breathe through the urge to run, something shifts. The racing slows. The anxiety softens. The restlessness melts into something warmer. And underneath all the noise, you hear something quiet, something honest, something that has been waiting for you, patiently, for a long time. Your truth, your real feelings, your real questions, the things you have been too busy to hear, too distracted to notice, too scared to face. This is the silence that teaches, and this is what tonight is about. The silence that teaches is not comfortable, but the most important lessons never are. My friend, which kind of silence fills your life right now? Are you carrying the first kind, the wound of being silenced? The heavy, painful silence of words you could not say? If so, that wound needs voice, not more quiet. Find someone safe, a friend, a therapist, a journal. Let the words come out. You have been silent long enough. Are you living mostly in the second kind, the polite, everyday silence of rules and social situations? That is fine. That is normal. But it will not change you. It will not teach you anything new about yourself. Or are you brave enough tonight, tomorrow, this week, to enter the third kind? The chosen silence? The silence that is messy and uncomfortable and honest? The kind where you close your eyes and let whatever is inside you rise up to the surface? That is where the real teaching happens. Not in the peace, not in the calm, but in the willingness to sit with your own mind, your own heart, your own uncomfortable, beautiful, complicated truth, until the peace arrives on its own, which it will. It always does. Open a book, any book. Look at the page, not at the words, at the space around the words, the margins, the gaps between lines, the space between paragraphs, the blank area at the top and bottom. Now imagine someone removed all the white space, all the margins, all the gaps. Every centimeter of the page is covered in tiny black letters. No space, no breaks, no room to breathe. Could you read it? No. Your eyes would hurt. Your brain would freeze. You would close the book and walk away. The white space is what makes the words readable. The nothing is what gives the something its shape. Without space, words are just ink. With space, words become meaning. Silence is the white space of your life. Without it, everything you do becomes unreadable even to yourself. This is true for speaking too. The most powerful speakers are not the ones who talk the fastest. They are the ones who pause. A pause before an important word makes that word land harder. A moment of silence after a question makes the question echo inside the listener's mind. Silence between words is not weakness. It is not forgetting what to say. It is the white space that makes your words matter. And in relationships, this is the most important part. The same thing is true. The best conversations are not the longest ones. They are not the ones where both people talk for 2 hours without stopping. They are the ones with the most honest pauses. The moments when someone says something true and the other person does not rush to respond. They do not jump in with advice. They do not say, "I know exactly how you feel." They do not try to fix anything. They just sit with it. They let the truth have space. They let the words breathe, like white space on a page. I'm struggling right now. Pause. Space. Silence. 3 seconds where nothing happens except one person truly hearing another. That silence is louder than any words. That silence says, "I hear you. I am here." Your words matter enough for me to stop everything. Stop thinking about what to say next. Stop planning my response. Stop making it about me, and just listen. Someone once said, "First be interested, then be interesting." That is the secret of every good conversation, every deep friendship, every lasting relationship, every meaningful life. Listen more than you speak, and let the white space do its work. The pauses are not the gaps between the important parts. The pauses are the important parts. One last picture for you tonight, and I want you to hold this one very close. Imagine there is a person, an old teacher, very old, very wise, very quiet. You have never seen this teacher's face clearly, just a shape in the corner of your eye, a warmth you feel when the room is still, a presence you cannot explain. This teacher follows you everywhere, into your office, into your kitchen, into your bedroom, onto the bus, into the shower, to every meeting, every dinner, every walk, every sleepless night. But this teacher never speaks. Never. Not a single word. Not a single instruction. Not a single "you should do this" or "you made a mistake." Not a lecture. Not a lesson plan. Not even a whisper. The teacher just sits in the corner of every room, quietly, patiently, watching you, not judging, not grading, not keeping score, not disappointed, not impressed, just being there, present, still, like a candle flame that does not move. And here is the strange, beautiful, mysterious thing. When the teacher is near, when you notice the teacher, you think differently. You slow down, not because someone told you to, but because the presence of silence changes the speed of your thoughts. You notice things you usually miss: the way the light falls on the table, the sound of your own breathing, the way your heart beats faster when you are about to say something dishonest, the way your stomach tightens when you are about to make a decision you know is wrong. You hear your own thoughts more clearly, not the loud ones, not the anxious ones, not the ones that repeat and repeat like a broken radio, the quiet ones, the deep ones, the ones that whisper instead of shout. And you make better decisions, not because the teacher told you what to do, not because you received advice, not because you found the answer in a book or a video or a podcast, but because the teacher's silence created a space, a small, warm, honest space where you could finally hear your own wisdom. The teacher is not teaching you answers. The teacher is teaching you to listen to the answers you already have, the answers that have been inside you your whole life, under the noise, under the fear, under the performance, under the "I'm fine." Silence does not give you the answers. It teaches you to hear the answers you already carry. My friend, that old teacher is silence. It has been with you since your first breath. In every room you have ever entered, at every table you have ever sat at, on every walk you have ever taken, in every silent moment between conversations, in every pause between heartbeats, in every gap between your thoughts. It never spoke. It never will. But it has been teaching you through every pause, every gap, every quiet moment to hear yourself, to trust yourself, to know yourself. The problem is not that the teacher is absent. The teacher has never left, not once, not for a second. The problem is that you have been too busy to notice, too distracted, too loud, too full of other people's words and opinions and voices to hear the one teacher who has been sitting in the corner of your life, since the day you were born. You fill every room with noise. Music in the kitchen, podcast on the walk, video in bed, scrolling on the bus, talking in the car, planning in the shower, worrying in the dark. Thanks for watching, and click the next video. Until the teacher is invisible. Until the silence is buried so deep that you forget it exists. But here is the truth that will set you free. The teacher is patient, more patient than any human you will ever meet, more patient than your mother, more patient than your best friend, more patient than time itself. The teacher will wait a year, a decade, a lifetime. The teacher does not get bored, does not get frustrated, does not give up on you. The teacher just sits there, in the corner, in the quiet, in the warmth, until one day, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe 10 years from now, you turn around and you see the teacher for the first time, and you say, "Oh, you were here the whole time. You were always here." And the teacher will smile, silently, without a word, and the lesson will begin. In our episode about finding stillness, we talked about the conductor learning to hear music inside the chaos. The old teacher is what comes after the conductor. The conductor learns to hear individual sounds. The teacher learns to hear truth, and truth only speaks in silence. So, my friend, here is a gentle invitation for tonight. Tomorrow, give silence a chance to teach you. Just once, just one moment. Pick one moment from your day. It can be tiny. Nobody else needs to know. Maybe the walk from your door to your car, or from the bus stop to your office. Take your headphones out. Do not put on music. Do not call someone. Just walk and listen to the world without a filter. The traffic, the birds, the wind, your own footsteps. Let the sounds exist without commentary, without judgment. Just hear. Maybe the first 3 minutes after you wake up, before your hand reaches for the phone. Stay in the silence. Feel the sheets. Feel the weight of your head on the pillow. Let your thoughts float like clouds. Do not grab them. Do not chase them. Just watch them drift. Maybe a conversation. The next time someone tells you something important, something real, something vulnerable, do not respond immediately. Pause for 3 seconds, just 3. Let their words sit in the white space between you. Feel the words before you answer. Let the silence say what your words cannot. One moment of chosen silence. That is all I am asking. Not forever, not an hour, not even 10 minutes. Just one breath-length pause where you let the old teacher do their work. And notice what happens. Notice what you hear that you normally miss. Notice what rises up from the quiet. Notice the truth that was always there, hidden under the noise, waiting for you. Patient as the teacher in the corner, silence has been teaching you your whole life. You just never stop to listen to the lesson. Let me leave you with these pictures tonight, my friend. 5 pictures. 5 lessons from the most patient teacher you will ever have. Silence is an empty classroom. When the teacher stops talking, you start thinking, not repeating, not copying, not memorizing someone else's words, thinking your own thoughts, asking your own questions, finding your own truth. The empty room is not the absence of learning. It is where the deepest learning lives. Silence is the pause between heartbeats. Without it, your heart burns out, your mind burns out, your patience burns out, your love burns out. The pauses do not look important. They are invisible. They are the smallest parts of your day, but they are what keep you alive. They are what keep you human. 5 seconds, 3 breaths, 1 moment of stillness between the beats. That is enough. Silence comes in 3 kinds. The wound the silence forced on you, the rule the silence expected of you, and the teacher the silence you choose. You need to know which one you are carrying. The wound needs voice. The rule needs following. But the teacher, the third kind, the one that requires courage, that one changes everything, that is the one worth seeking. Silence is the white space on a page. Without it, your words are unreadable. Your conversations are unreadable. Your relationships are unreadable. Your life is unreadable. The nothing gives the something its shape. The pause gives the words their meaning. The gap gives the music its beauty. Be interested before you try to be interesting. Listen before you speak. And let the white space do its quiet, powerful, transformative work. And silence is an old teacher sitting in the corner of every room you have ever entered, never speaking, never judging, never leaving, always waiting, always patient. Ready to teach you the one lesson no book can teach: how to hear yourself, how to trust yourself, how to be yourself underneath all the noise, underneath all the performance, underneath all the "I'm fine." The world is loud, my friend. It will always be loud. The notifications will never stop. The news will never slow down. The opinions will never run out. But the teacher is here, right now, sitting quietly, in the corner of this room, in the corner of your heart, waiting for you to turn around and say, "I'm ready. Teach me." And the lesson will begin the moment you stop talking, the moment you stop scrolling, the moment you stop running, and start listening. Thank you for being here today, my friend. Thank you for choosing to spend this quiet time with me. Your presence in this cozy space means more than you know. If this episode gave you a moment of peace, I would love it if you tap like and subscribe to the channel, not for the numbers, but because every small click helps someone else find this quiet corner when they need it most. Take care of your heart tonight. Be gentle with your soul. I am so proud of you for being here. Goodbye for now, friend.